gravel, travel. The new way to cycle comes with a reminder to respect rural roadways. And must bus. We sit down with the First Lady of Razorback Basketball, Danielle Musselman. All those stories and more coming up next on Downtown Now.
Good Sunday morning. Welcome to another edition of Downtown Now. I am Aaron Nolan.
I'm Dana Schlagenhalf. Tell us about this place, Aaron.
Hey, we're slipping into something new. This is Lady Slipper in downtown Bentonville. Let's take a look around. It's an absolutely beautiful spot, Dana. This is a historic spot as well.
It is. Years ago, I used to check books out from the front of this massive building.
I love finding out new things about new places for me, being a transplant here to Bentonville. This building built in 1910. It was 1978 when it was put on the National Historic Places. This is a very special place, and Dana, we were talking about this, and the reason why we're here, my wife and I actually came here for our anniversary a couple of months ago, and it's just special.
You wouldn't stop raving about Lady Slipper, and now we're here, and it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. Not only is it an amazing speakeasy, some great drinks here, they're also got some of the best food anywhere in town. Chef Arturo is going to walk us through all of that a little bit later in the show, and then we're ending the show going behind the bar. This is going to be a lot of fun. Amy is taking us behind the bar to find out all the great drinks right here at Lady Slipper.
I've heard great things about their drinks.
I can say maybe, possibly, can't confirm, but maybe the drinks are great. You know, we've talked a lot about Bentonville being the mountain biking capital of the world.
We've said that a few times.
I think it's, at last check, the ticker says like 52 times.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure that's correct, but 52 times. Recently, though, we found out about rural roads and respecting rural roads. As we were told, not all of our roads need to be paved. It's one of the most common sights in all of Bentonville. Bikes. Recently, as a way to make backcountry biking safer, the state of Arkansas launched a pilot program called R3, or Respect Rural Roads. The plan is to designate specific gravel cycling routes on county roads in northwest Arkansas, and then to the rest of the state. Here's cycling enthusiast and R3 advocate, Tom Walton.
Gravel roads are safer than riding on pavement, and not everybody wants to mountain bike. Right. So, and it's a wonderful way to really get out and see the beauty of Arkansas. So we believe in it.
Signage around the state will caution motorists to share the unpaved roadway.
We can be the gravel capital of the world as well as the mountain bike capital. We don't have to just do mountain bikes, right? The infrastructure is here.
In Benton County alone, there's more than 800 miles of gravel road and 500 miles of dirt road. All of this leading to quite the uncommon ride.
Mountain biking is kind of like being on the front side of like a ski area, a ski mountain or something like that. The gravel riding is kind of the back country. Right. So it's much more exploratory. It's an adventure. You're not sure what you're going to see.
And for Walton, this new adventure not only allows for a unique ride, but also a chance to be first, staking a claim to a gravel way of life.
So we think we can win. And this is like an attempt to kind of get out there first and test whether or not we can build more local audience, and then also become a place where people travel to ride.
And so we embark on the next chapter of the cycling community in Bentonville, taking a gravel road to what's next.
One thing I learned from the trail development here is that there's trapped value in preserving and creating these amenities. And I think there's the same opportunity with preserving some of the rural routes that are here in Benton County, because they're just different experiences.
Those signs for respecting rural roads are already out, both here in Benton County and all across the state.
From rural roads, back here to Lady Slipper.
Okay.
And executive chef Arturo Salas's menu spans the globe from Spain to Paris to the Gulf Coast.
It is an experience unlike any other. When you sit down here, whether you're eating or drinking, you're literally transported all across the world. Let's talk to Chef about his inspirations.
Big part of the inspiration for Lady Slipper comes from wanting to contribute to downtown Bentonville's nightlife culturally, not just by selling drinks, but by showcasing one person's culinary experience that can be shared by almost every newcomer and current resident of the area.
It's fun. I don't think anything is worth sticking on the menu forever. You're always discovering new things. You're always, traveling, like you mentioned, different places, bringing inspiration. The menu spans from, obviously it's rooted in classic technique, but the food touches base in, Mediterranean, Spain, France, a little bit of the southern states. I'm from Miami originally, so I want to put a little bit of that into the menu. And then, a big focus is Latin America.
Chef Arturo's kitchen is a well-oiled machine that is fun and friendly, and our bar team and service team as well, same thing. It's a good time for everyone.
Is there one thing on this that will stay constant? Is there one thing that you want Lady Slipper, your art form to be known for? Or is this going to be a constant swinging door?
Yeah, I think it's always going to be a swinging, evolving door. I think definitely there's going to be that consistency, that it's going to be fun and unique and something new. It's always a surprise. So I want people to come back and want to try what we have.
All right, Dana, I'm a huge Arkansas Razorback
You
fan.
are.
The Arkansas Razorback basketball team has been to 3 straight Sweet 16s, hoping to make it 4 straight this year, maybe going even further. But I'm very jealous of who you talked to coming up in the Downtown Conversation.
I got to talk to the First Lady of Razorback Basketball, Danielle Musselman, and that's next. Danielle Musselman recently co-hosted a luncheon right here in downtown Bentonville about a cause very close to her heart. She's also very excited about the upcoming Razorback basketball season. It was a full court chat with Danielle Musselman in our Downtown Conversation. Danielle Musselman, thank you so much for joining us here at the DBI office today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's beautiful here. I really love the feel. It's got a good vibe to it.
Yeah, we overlook the downtown square. You couldn't have a better spot.
No, I love it.
So as we were getting set up, Chandler, running cameras, said, will she know how to mic herself? And I said, actually, yeah, I think more than the rest of us. You're no stranger to being in front of the camera.
Yes.
And really reached at an early age a pinnacle of sports journalism. I mean, ESPN, Fox Sports, Yahoo Sports.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that experience and that life back then.
I think it was my second year of college. I went to Florida State. I kind of put it all together and realized that I wanted to be in sports broadcasting. After I graduated, I started out behind the scenes. I worked at CNN, and then I got my first on-air job about a year after that. And I was in Macon, Georgia. I was in Kansas City for 2 years, and then I got the call from ESPN, and then my national career took off, and I've been fortunate to work everywhere from ESPN to Fox Sports to NFL Network. It's just amazing. It was amazing.
I'm going to pivot a little bit now that you are the, I want to make sure I get the title right, GM of Team Musselman, the First Lady of Razorback Basketball. We like to call you the Razorback Team Mom.
Yes.
I've read that as well. That's another exciting role, and makes you a very recognizable person here in the state of Arkansas.
What's really funny is the fact that it really does stretch all around the state. I'm so humbled by that, because that doesn't happen everywhere.
I do want to talk about your ability to lend your voice to causes here. And I was at a luncheon, part of the Bentonville Film Festival, and they were showing Giving Birth in America, Arkansas, and you joined really a chorus of voices here in the state, bringing attention to maternal mortality rates that are incredibly high here in the state.
Yes.
Across the nation, but Arkansas is the highest.
Yes.
There's a personal story there. Tell me about that, and then we'll talk about the state in general.
Yeah, well, I was invited to a conversation just as someone who had a voice in the state of Arkansas. You know, these people were talking and speaking at such a high level. I was not as versed in this conversation, but I said, what I can add is I am a person who's been affected by maternal health issues. And I shared with that group my story of being pregnant with my daughter, Mariah, who's 13 now, but I suffered a stroke when I was about 8 months pregnant. And my situation could have gone a very different way. Luckily, I'm here and I'm healthy. My daughter is here and she's healthy, but it was something that was very unexpected and very serious. And I don't think people necessarily, you know, look at me now or even then and think of someone that would suffer a stroke. And so I just kind of put a face, and I wanted to be someone that would help people resonate with the issue.
Something that during the luncheon someone brought up, it may have been you, Olympian Tori Bowie had died at 8 months pregnant, maybe the week or two before the luncheon.
Yeah.
These are not the people, this is someone at the pinnacle of health.
Right.
That's alarming.
And I was so glad that it really became national news, because I almost feel like that's something that could have just been glazed over. But it was like, look at this woman who was the epitome of health and fitness, and she is no longer with us because of what happened to her.
Talk about that message to women. You talk about advocating for yourself.
Yes.
Asking for another opinion. It may not always be in our nature.
Yes.
You using your voice
Yeah.
to advocate for this issue here in Arkansas. It's an important thing to do.
It's really important, and I have learned it not just with my situation. A lot of people know the story about my sister. I have a younger sister who's 3.5 years younger than me, and she had a heart transplant about 5 months after we moved to Arkansas. So it's almost a little bit of my story here, because there were so many people that I met that kind of supported me and our family through that situation. But I think back to what she was going through, and she looked like a healthy woman in her late 30s, and so she was brushed off as having pneumonia at first whenever she went to urgent care and was having trouble breathing. They said, I think that you have pneumonia, and luckily her and her husband really pushed for a chest x-ray in that situation, and that's whenever they discovered that her heart was ginormous, and she was actually operating at 10% heart function.
Oh my goodness.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. So luckily they didn't take, you have pneumonia, here's some medicine, go home. They pushed it a little bit further, and that's what 100% saved her life.
When we talk about family, I'm going to pivot a little bit to, you have your family.
Yes.
You have your Razorback family, and we like to say here in the state of Arkansas, we're family.
We are big dysfunctional family, probably.
We're a little crazy about our hogs, and that's okay. Talk about family in Arkansas.
Well, I'll talk about the basketball team.
Yeah.
And one thing that we really pitch to our players that we're recruiting and to their parents is that we are family, and we really mean that. And that, honestly, it stems from our athletic director all down. And so it spreads through the entire athletic department. And I know there's so many people that are at different schools who say, oh, I don't even know our soccer coach and his wife, or I don't know the softball coach. We know all of those people. We all know each other because we are family. We do things together. We have events together. We, as wives, have a Bible study together, and it really means something.
I remember 94, 95, this something's, as we're gearing up for those years, something's brewing. You could just feel it. It feels like that. The last few years, you have had multiple Sweet 16, Elite 8.
Yeah.
What's coming this next season? Do you feel that? Do you feel it?
I really did not realize how long it had been since Arkansas had been there before. And so getting there, for me personally, it was insane. We went to the Sweet 16 one year when we were at University of Nevada, and it was such a high. I remember just thinking, thank you, God. if this never happens again, like, thank you for this moment, because it was that exciting. I remember everything about it, and I didn't know if we were ever going to experience wins that exciting again. And then here we were going to the Elite Eight, going a step further than we had gone before. The most exciting game. I had to watch it again actually on tape, because it's almost like you black out. I'm like, wait, what happened?
This state loves the Razorbacks.
It's so cool. It's so, I mean, you get burned on the other end if you're not doing so well, but when it's good, it's really good.
When it's good, it's good. All right, I hate to ask you about this because I feel like a lot of people ask you about your husband ripping his shirt off, but I'm going to do it in a little bit of a different way.
Okay.
I found a bunch of headlines that I found very amusing, and so I'm just going to read them, and we'll show the articles on camera. Power move tradition. Eric Musselman rips his shirt off. Musselman's shirt comes off. Shirtless Muss is a happy one. Eric Musselman's shirtless celebration every time Arkansas coach has gone viral. Bill Murray tried to get UConn's Dan Hurley to take his shirt off after win. And nothing says woo pig suey like Eric Musselman partying shirtless with court stormers. I love it. It's the energy of a child.
Yes.
That you see your kids when they just can't like contain themselves. Like, what is it like to be his wife?
Well, I have to set up the taking the shirt off first. I don't know if you've heard this or not, but when we were at University of Nevada and we took over a program that had won, I want to say 9 games the year before, so hadn't been very successful, didn't have a lot of fans. And then that second year, we won the Mountain West Conference, okay? And so they had, the Mountain West Champs t-shirts ready to go, and everyone was putting them on. And so Eric went to put his on, and his players just grabbed him and threw him into the celebration before he got the shirt on. So rather than stop it and put the shirt on, he just went with it and shirtlessly celebrated. And so ever since then, that has kind of been his celebration. And so it makes me laugh because people are like, what is going on? I'm like, no, there's a reason, there's a story kind of behind it.
What was it like the first time you heard that woo pig suey, which, I've seen it done in different parts of the country.
Yes.
And when Razorback fans run into each other in places, we do it in weird spots too.
It's the best.
It's different.
So when Eric got the job and we flew here, we knew we were going to have to do it at the press conference as a family. And so we practiced it no less than 10 times, like in front of like PR people. They're like, you have to get this right.
Hands higher, fingers right.
Hold it longer, hold it 5 seconds longer than you think feels natural. And so we were like gonna nail it. We nailed it in everything. But it's so funny, I was told like eventually this is gonna feel like second nature. And the first, like, I don't even know, 25 times you do it, you're like, it still feels kind of weird. And now, they weren't lying. It feels like second nature, and nothing is better. I love doing it in Bud Walton, but nothing is better than doing it on the road, because I know the fans, like, are just hating every second of us doing the hog call.
I wanted to thank you. Speaking of celebrating, you came to First Friday downtown. So
it was amazing.
We had fun having you here and hope to have you here again. What is it like to look around downtown and see 10,000 people down here?
I thought it was so cool. I mean, my daughter and I just walked around and listened to music, and she's so funny. She's 13, and she was like, oh, Mom, there's such and such, and then would run the other way. And I'm like, well, if you know that person, why don't you go say hi? And she said, oh, no, I met him at camp. It's too embarrassing. I don't like my outfit.
You have a teenager on your hands.
So I have a teenager. I was like, what is happening here? But no, it was so fun.
Well, come join us again.
I will.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been great.
And Aaron wanted me to tell you the Razorbacks are a top 25 team heading into the season. And stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Downtown Now. We are behind the bar with Emery, one of the bartenders here. All right, let's make some of the iconic, I'll call them iconic, cocktails here at Lady Slipper, starting with what I've heard is the best seller.
The lavender haze.
All right,
so it starts with vodka.
Vodka base.
Add some lemon. We're gonna add Saint Germain. That's kind of a floral liqueur. Add some creme de violet. That's where you get your color, as well as just adding to that.
There's a lot of touch points here.
Exactly. It's gonna end with that lavender syrup, also made in-house. Gonna add some ice.
Okay.
Do a little shaky.
All right, so the pour here is what I'm interested in. Because I have no idea what it's going to look like. It's going to look pretty, I have a feeling.
Let's hope. Add a strainer, and I like to do a double strain so that you don't get any little ice chunks in anything.
Now I see why it's called lavender haze.
There you go.
Because it's lavender.
And it's a little hazy. It's not like the perfect shade of lavender.
All right, we're going to garnish it with what?
This is rosemary, just to kind of like pull in more of those aromatics and garden features.
Okay, all right, let's make one more. This is one that has coffee in it. I want to get it right. It is the overnight sensation.
That is right. It's actually cold brew coffee.
Okay.
Also made in-house. We use airship coffee beans for that. So we're gonna start once again with vodka. This is actually a mixture of Kahlua and Bailey's.
All right.
Add a little bit of that in there. Add a little cream just to kind of make it nice. There's some cold brew. And then we're just gonna finish it off with a little bit of simple syrup.
All right, got to get a little sugar in there.
Yeah, exactly. Add some ice, shake it.
Yep. And again, this is that drink that's going to keep you up a little bit longer.
Exactly. This is what everyone orders around like last call because they know they need their night to keep going.
Oh, and you're double straining it again.
Again, you don't want any of those little ice chunkies.
Yep.
You're gonna just finish it all off
More coffee?
with a couple little coffee beans.
Wow.
Ta-da.
All right, Emery. Cheers.
Cheers.
Well done. All right.
I mean, you
I get
gotta
the
try
purple
it,
one.
right?
I get the purple one. Dana, I'm not
There
going
you are.
anywhere. Oh, that is really summery and nice.
Well, I'm ready to start my shift now.
Yeah, there you go.
Erin's going to spend a little more time behind the bar, but that's it for us. Thanks to Ben and the team at Lady Slipper here in downtown Bentonville. Make sure to check them out and check us out next Sunday at 10:30. See you then.
The sun is 93 million miles away. The least we can do is give it a warm welcome each morning.